Yes, everyone, welcome to the latest Patreon podcast. I hope you enjoyed the Hot Ones thing that I uploaded earlier. Let's get stuck straight into this. Matt, I swear to God, I've already had a brief glimpse of it. Why is it a fucking... Never mind, right. Do I like penguins? More on this later. Yeah, well, I'm sure there is. Jesus. Which youth make the step up to the first team next season? I would say Angel, Mason, and if he's given the opportunity, Ethan Laird. I don't know if Garner's going to get the chance, and I don't know if Williams is going to get the chance or Levitt, but I think they'll all feature. All of them will feature on the on a pre-season tour for definitely. Any chance we see Jones and Smalling sold in the summer? Only if I'm playing Footy Manager, I fear. Sadly, they've got to go, haven't they? But I think they're keeping him around for depth reasons, which is utter bollocks. Sean Zabi's just better, isn't he? That's the top and bottom of it. He's just better. Pure and simple, just a better footballer. Christ. Ollie Payne, do you think the talk of going back to the old United way of transfers, of getting the best from the rest of the Prem is true, or does it look like it'll be the same as Norman Underwood would? I'm reserving judgment until the end of the season. I mean, we've been linked with some players that fit that mould, but we've also been linked with, like, fucking... Koulibaly and Sancho and players that are going to cost in excess of 100 million, so who knows. On a 1 to 10, how fucked are we? This is a big summer, right? It could go 3, probably as high as 3. It could be as low as 10. I know that's kind of a fucked up way of looking at it. We could be properly fucked. Or they might actually realise that they've got to put something in here and actually do it properly, but jury's out until the end of the season, because that's going to be end of the transfer season. T. Woody, realistically, due to departures and how shit we are, do you expect Ollie to put faith in the youth next season and play some in the Premier League as well as Europa? I hope so, because they're just better. I was just saying that some of them are just better than what we've got out there. There's no way Ethan Laird's not a massive upgrade on Ashley Young at all. I hope he does. Any news on potentially getting a backup left-back, given the expected exits? There appear to be a fair few in Championship options. I think they're probably going to be looking at Delo as the backup option, and then Laird and Williams as the backup options. If the noise is coming out that he likes Rojo, maybe there's an option with Rojo there. I don't know. Do I think they've got pussy in heaven? What? He's trying to steal Matt's crown. Would I rather... Oh, here we go. Would I rather fight 100 penguin-sized Matts or 1 Matt-sized penguins? Well, how big's a penguin? Because you've got them emperor penguins that are like 4 foot. You're not fighting 100 of them, are you? You're going to get about 5 deep, fuck them up, and then you're going to have 96 other fucking penguins left at you, and that's going to be a nightmare. And how big's Matt? I don't know how big Matt is. So I'm going to say 1 Matt-sized penguin, because that's just a big penguin. Obviously, you've got them little bitty ones, haven't you? But are we talking about them? Or are we talking about like a big hulking penguin? Does this penguin work out? Has he got any like Mai Tai experience or anything like that? I'm going with 1 penguin. Do I believe that the league in general is at a lower standard than it was 10, 15 years ago? Yes. Not only do I believe it, there's evidence for it. Fucking dog. There was something I retweeted yesterday, which is showing how the split, the top 5 or 6 have gone like this and gone way better, and like from 6 down have gone fucking way worse in terms of the points that they get. There's a gulf emerged. The top people's argument to it being a strong league is the fact that there's 2 English teams in both European finals. Must be the strongest league in the world. Not necessarily. It means that you've got 3 or 4 teams that are pretty decent, and obviously you've got lower level ones because it's Europa League final, and you've got a couple of teams that have found their way in a Champions League final. Are Spurs the best team in Europe? I don't even know that they're the best team in London. Are Liverpool the best team in the fucking Northwest? In the middle of their championship charge, they came and 0-0'd the shit out of us at Old Trafford. They was worse than Burnley. This isn't a strong league, evidenced by the fact that back-to-back times, people are getting 98, 100 points. People are scoring 35, 40 goals. Didn't happen. I think it might have been Pogba mentioned it the other day. When he was growing up, the likes of like Del Piero, heroes, scored about fucking 18 goals a season. Not acceptable nowadays because people are expecting you to score 30 goals, 35 goals. I think Cantona in his first season had like fucking 15 goals, 16 assists or something bananas like that. Striker. Like, it wouldn't be stand for now because the expectation has changed. The top teams are way better in relation to the lower teams. It was way more competitive, and that might be one of the issues with the financial fair play or the money that's poured in at the top end. The top end is super competitive, but the lower part of the league is super shit. Do you know, like, you can have Barcelona and Real Madrid are usually in the top 3 or 4 teams in Europe, but fucking Getafe and Alaves are absolute dog poo, League One standard. You're getting a similar kind of thing happening in the Premier League, not quite to the same sort of extent, but you're getting something like that sort of happen now. The league is definitely at a lower standard. If this United team got 81 points last season, which is more than the treble team managed to acquire, and only 5 or 6 less than that 08 team, which had fucking Ronaldo in it, what does that tell you? What a shit league this is. Absolute dog poo. But people don't want to admit that because they're trying to anoint that fucking Liverpool team and that City team as the greatest fucking teams that ever invented football. Utter bollocks. Do I have any knowledge on the players coming in, or are they the same as before? If I know about it, you've heard about it. It's as simple as that. I don't hold on to anything. As an employee, what strengths and weaknesses does Mitz have? Getting things off the top shelf is probably a weakness. Strengths, well, he's punctual. If I could wedge it any historical figure, who would I pick? We're assuming Marilyn Monroe's off the cards here. Yeah, Hitler, let's do it. Bring him in. In case Woody fucks up and we don't sign a centre-back, the mother have mercy on us. What do I make of a first-choice centre-back partnership of Axel and Victor, and do you think it can work to assert itself as a first choice? Right. Axel and Victor are going to be fucking world-class against City. Axel and Victor are going to concede 3 fucking goals against Newcastle, West Ham, Watford especially. I've never seen either of them attack a ball in the air. Axel's unbelievable at defending on the ground. Unbelievable jockeying. Unbelievable blocks. Unbelievable interceptions. Don't know what his heading standard is, but it's just, I've never seen him attack a ball in the air. That's a little bit... When he can head a ball, but you've never seen him own a space. You've never seen him dominate a box. Like, get the fuck out of here, that's mine. That's what you need. There's your... Fucking, let's be honest, Steve Bruce and Gary Pallister could do that. There's your Yap Stam. That's your Nemanja Vidic. I mean, Rio Ferdinand, not known as a player that heads the ball, but he could head a ball. Nemanja Vidic, you want someone that just fucking clears out an entire postcode because he's getting his head on that ball. Not really seeing Axel do that. Not sure if that's something that you can learn. Don't know what Van Dijk was doing at 2021 as a bit of a comparison. Do I think that Ollie will try to create a team that's really good in just one formation and try and get Champions League, or try and build a team that's tactical flexibility? I think you've got to get plan A down first, haven't you? And then you can start working on other things. I'm hoping that they spend pre-season looking at plan A, which would be, in my mind, a double pivot, press from the front kind of affair. That's what I thought we looked fantastic doing. The whole midfield and attack after press. And then I think United have got a fighting chance. Jazz. Oh, by the way, Jazz, you've just won the Rashford shirt giveaway, by the way. You and... What was the other guy called? Summit Clegg. I'll find it because I started following him on BetBull. Let me know ASAP. I'll give you first pick. You've got a pink one. In fact, bring them in. Someone bring the shirts in for us. The bag's by the door. I'll give you first pick. Do you want the pink one or do you want the blue one? They're getting picked up tomorrow to get signed. So we got a pink one, blue one, obviously the other way around. They're getting picked up tomorrow to get signed. So let us know which one you want, and I'll give the other guy, who's the not Patreon guy, the other one. Favourite porn category though? I'd have to say it's definitely the Brazilian amputee fart porn. MILF Brazilian amputee fart porn, sorry. Kappa says, why has the team reverted back to how they played earlier in the season? Is Ollie able to set a style of play? Even if the players aren't good enough, they should be attempting to play a certain way, whether it comes off or not, but we see his pointless crossing when the team is the most lethal. Without crosses, we don't even attempt that shit anymore. We don't even see the attempt of that anymore. There's a very interesting note somebody sent me on Reddit, which was a Harvard study into regression to prior learned traits. So if you've got a coach who teaches you one thing, I think it takes you 6 to 7 times longer to have it trained out of you. Very interesting study, and that's why often you see, oh, that looks like a blah, blah, blah team, that looks like a blah, blah, blah team. I don't know the reason why Ollie was able to change it so much, maybe because the players was more receptive to a change as he came in, and as the injuries hit, they sort of reverted back to everything. I guess we're going to find out in pre-season, because I'm hoping pre-season is long enough to try and figure it out. I guess we'll find out. Ranabir says, I talk about protests coming to nothing and criminal violence in properties leading to nothing. The thing is, that's not how you wage war in 2019. You utilise tech and mass media, social networking to start wars and getting things done. You are speaking the right things and demanding a plan is the right way to move forward. I pinged it directly and said, I'll have something by next month. Hopefully I'll be able to showcase you something similar to a very doable plan. Answer one thing. Do I think 3 years of sustained planning, effort and execution is enough? Do you really think that you have the patience for this kind of plan? I kind of do, but if you saw the fucking A beating I got off Tony yesterday, is it the right idea? Who is the person to come and buy the club? Is it the fans? Fuck me, United fans can't agree on the fucking colour of shirts that we're playing. There's got to be some sort of... If it's going to be fan ownership, then it has to be truly democratic. Now, whether that's through members, season ticket holders, whatever it fucking is, it has to be some sort of democratic thing. It can't be secret meetings by me and you that implements a plan that affects the whole of the Manchester United fan base. Who the fuck are we? There has to be something like that. The problem is, you stick your head above a parapet, you fucking create a YouTube channel, and people go, fuck you, you prick. Simple as that. It's hard to have anyone, I certainly don't want to be anyone that goes, I've got a plan. Fuck that noise. I'd rather have the fucking Glazers than be the one that has to try and fucking convince an entire fan base of a plan. Fuck that noise. I do have the patience to see that happen. I just don't know if our fan base truly wants it. The Glazer stuff has only come up because of poor performance. Been banging our heads against a wall for 14 fucking years with them. So I'm excited to see what the plan is, but unless it's like some sort of Ocean's 11 shit where we go and rob something worth 4 billion, manage to sell it on the black market at market value, and then we buy the club off the Glazers by holding them at gunpoint and sticking a banana up the nose. I don't know if it's going to happen. Jaffa, firstly, did Greenwood and Garner get called up for the 18s? United Twitter says they did, but England website doesn't mention it. On that, Dylan Levitt's with the Wales squad right now, but no one's announced it anywhere. So, why there's not pictures coming out of these training sessions, I don't fucking know. Would I sign Grealish if Villa don't get promoted? He's been fantastic for months and wouldn't cost too much. On a related note, if Pogba ends up leaving, how many midfielders do we need to buy? I'll eat my shorts if transfer business is wrapped up early, as Ollie said. Never happens to us. I absolutely agree. I would say there's so much needs to happen. Can you imagine if we pulled it off? If we did lose Sanchez, Lukaku, Pogba, De Gea, and was like, we're going to play Henderson, we're going to bring in these midfielders, there's the plan. I'll be fucking flabbergasted because, yeah, we've all done it on Footy Manager. That's a fucking game. Doing that in real life with the incompetent level at our board, that's mental to assume that we could get that thing pulled off. I hope with all my heart that we do. I don't have the faith that we're going to do it. Grealish, yeah, I'd take a risk on him, to be honest. How many midfielders do we need? I think it depends on the system. If you're going to play 4-4-2 diamond, probably more. If you're going to play a midfield three, obviously you probably need less. But you probably need to sign in some wingers. Ollie's plan, Ollie's system has to be at the forefront of all of this. And then after that, we'll see. Better band, Queen or The Who? Do you know what? My all-time favourite song from the two of them would be Baba O'Reilly by The Who, but I think Queen just edge it with some right bangers. Video Cosplay Gamer 907 says, would I have Axel alongside Lindelof at the start or sign Maguire and Koulibaly and get rid of the other shite centre-halves? Yes. We're not signing Maguire and Koulibaly because it's probably about 250 million quid's worth there. I'd love to see us get Koulibaly, give him the armband, and then bring in a young squad. That would work for me. Who out of midfield would I sell, not including Herrera and Mata? I'd be quite tempted to sell Pogba now, to be honest with you. I almost can't be arsed with the shit no more. I'd rather just have a hard-working team that does what it needs to do. If the rumours are true about Lukaku and Sanchez, would I bring in Greenwood as a first-team starter alongside Rashford and have Dybala in behind? Dybala I'm not convinced on. I'd rather go somewhere a little different, a bit more of a physical centre-forward. Not Troy Deeney, but like a Troy Deeney, Angin Horrible type that's going to bully people. Most of what we're doing is playing in English football after all, and I think there's a room for that in a 4-4-2 diamond. Brian, could all the outs be a blessing in disguise, have only a handful of ins and plenty of room for the youth? Could be, if there's a genuine plan. Like, do you know what? Garner, Levitt, Gomez, Chong, they're not quite ready, but they're not the first choice. If they're the second choice, third choice in positions, fuck me, that's great. That's exactly what you want. You've got to have your blend. That was why it was good in 1999. You had 4 strikers, and I'm sure if you speak to them individually, they'll all think they was first choice. But realistically, Dwight York was the #1 striker, and everybody else was vying for #2. Andy Cole formed the best partnership with it. You're #2. Sheringham, you're an experienced guy that's got a good vision and a good brain. You're good off the bench. Solskjaer, you're probably a lesser profile than the other 3. You're going to be good off the bench, and he was good off the bench. And the 4 of them worked together. Now, you saw lots of different games. Teddy Sheringham, I think, started the FA Cup final and the final game against Spurs, I think, and then came off the bench in the final. Because he knew how to manage his system, and he knew certain teams would suit certain players. And I think it was Cole and Sheringham that started that Spurs game. I'm almost fucking sure of it. Almost sure of it. I'll have to check, but I'm pretty sure he knew how to shuffle his pack at the right time. The midfield didn't really get shuffled that much. You knew what the first choice midfield was. It was Giggs, Beckham, Keane and Scholes. But Nicky Butt would come and play. And Giggs would play centre mid occasionally. And yes, with Blomqvist had a fantastic part to play in the treble season. Played on the left wing a hell of a lot through Giggs' injuries, allowing Giggs to have a proper recovery. And the reason Ryan Giggs was on the bench was because he was recovering from an injury in the replay against Arsenal. That's why he came on the bench. That's why he was fresh. That's why he fucking dribbled it past the entire Arsenal team and buried it in the roof of the net. Having a squad like that where you've got he's first choice, these guys are backup. But the backup guys come on and play a massive, massive fucking part sometimes, as we saw in 99 with Solskjaer and Sheringham coming off the bench to score the equaliser and the winner. Who in the current reserves and 18s do I see playing regular first team next season? Mason. Gomez could. Gomez has got the ability to. His fucking ability in the final third is absolutely ridiculous for a midfielder. Ridiculous. Maybe Garner. I consider these guys as part of the first team squad already, to be honest. I think it'd be very strange who else pops in. Dutch Book, can we have a video looking at the Instat data, look about what changed after Paris? Did the players quit an Ole, or were his tactics exposed by PSG and other teams copied them? I think, I haven't got Instat at the moment, and if I want it next year, I've got to pay for it, and it's fucking thousands. So at the moment, I don't know what I'm going to do for data. I am still looking at options for it. I would really like to have Instat, but they stopped doing the promotion. They had a new sales director come in and it was like, we're not doing any free promotions for people no more. Everyone's got to pay. Which I guess is how you got to run a business, innit? I don't think the tactics were exposed, and I don't think his permanent appointment had any genuine, tangible, measurable effect on anything. I think it was definitely down as a combination of we had too many players hit injury, the players weren't fit enough. There was I don't know. But I don't think it was tactics. I don't think his tactics changed. I don't think he changed. I don't think the players quit necessarily. Although I think those last 6 weeks, I think there might have been something in that. I think some players might have been told, I don't fucking like you and I'm not going to keep you. And they probably phoned it in. We'll find out after pre-season, I'm sure, who's still around and who looks like they're up for the fight. Christian, already been asked, I'm sure, but what's the point of a technical director if Woodward is still doing transfers? He's proven time and time again to be dreadful at it. Yeah, the technical director for me is someone with more of a vision. The director of football is someone that's actually going out there and negotiating deals, and that's all about networking. Networking's massive in every business, in every walk of life. It's all about the network that you know. Some knobhead you don't know walks in and is like, hello everybody, I would like to buy this. Look, they fucked up Royal and the Ander Herrera one, showing Ed Woodward's experience up by thinking he could just turn up at the fucking La Liga offices and pay the get-out clause and then he'd be on a fucking plane to Manchester. Fucking utterly clueless. Because the club can just go, not doing it. And then you have to take them to court. It's not like on FIFA where you fucking bid the release clause or whatever and it's just automatic. If the club doesn't want to sell the guy, they can just refuse to sell the guy. And they go, I'll take me to court. Now, you'll win if you take them to court, but you still have to go to court. And that's the ball bust. And guess what? If you try and do it on the last day of the season, you try and take them to court, and then you go, sweet, we'll sell them next season because the registration window's closed. You have to be a bit cuter with it, and you have to be a bit more fucking sensible with it. Now, someone like maybe a Paul Mitchell that's worked at Tottenham, he's worked at Southampton, he's worked at Leipzig. That guy that knows the ins and outs, that's got contacts at other clubs that he's dealt with before and had a good dealing with. They had a transfer go that way, they've had a transfer come this way, they're good friends. That's happy days. When you've got a bellend like Woodward that's just fucking thinking he can just throw money around because of Manchester United, well, you're going to piss people off. Not the way to do things. All right, here we go. Matt says, do not quote me, give me the fucking money, you filthy whore, the tiny penguin shouts. I don't care if you had children, I'll kill them too. Penguins are ruthless by nature. Or ruthless cunts by nature. Do you not believe me? I'll have to kill you then. The woman in question, who shall be named Whore, obliges. She hands him the money. The penguin waddles indiscriminately to an 8-engined aircraft fueled by orgasms of 90,000 Japanese pensioners masturbating in a football stadium. What drugs does Matt do? Is it A, all, or B, all? It's a non-pollutant fuel form, and the Penguin Emperor is kind to the Japanese teens. They are fed on a diet of chicken noodle soup. The Penguin is flown back to the Emperor's headquarters, which just so happens to be Studio 68. What a coincidence. Master, he bows gracefully, I have succeeded. Get the fuck in there, you beautiful wee bastard, yeah. Wahee. Let's go all out and get the fucking pissed, lads. The Penguin Emperor proclaims. The slaves cheer fanatically. 16 billion penguins depend upon the streets of Manchester, all consuming over 200 litres of alcohol each. Do I need to be taking notes on these figures? The consumption of alcohol soon results in a drunken rage. They battle the giant man leopard. Okay, to the death. The man leopard doesn't sound menacing itself, but his arsehole is a portal to an alternate universe ruled by man leopards where the penguins will be enslaved and killed for their eggs. Obviously, that was a given. They defeat the man leopard, but at a severe cost. Out of their 16 billion strong army, 10 billion die. You and your army of humans are in the Manchester sewage system. The Penguin Emperor is anything but benevolent to you and your kind. He attempts to eradicate humanity. To his knowledge, they were successful, but in truth, they weren't. An outbreak of penguin hate means there are only 10,000 penguins left. You have 50,000 humans at your disposal, 100,000 penguins left. They have guns with only a single bullet each. We have spears. Considering you were in the army, I'd presume you're well clued when it comes to military tactics. Not with fucking spears. I was in the army in the 2000s. How do I plan to overthrow the Penguins? Secondly, when you do overthrow them, you are the leader of humanity, the leader of the planet. What 5 laws do I impose on humanity? It can be anything from the legislation of weed to all religions worshipping King Eric. I'd just like to add that this question is dedicated to memory of the guy who said he skips through my questions all the time. Right. The 5 laws I implement are... don't know. First one, don't be a cunt, straight off the bat. If 3 of us decide you're being a cunt, you can fuck off. How's that? That's rule 1. Rule 2, don't piss in the drinking water. That's always a good one. Don't shit near the kitchen, rule 3. Rule 4, no vegans. Rule 5, no keeping penguins as pets after what happened in the Penguin War. Right, how do you defeat 100,000 penguins with 50,000 humans? They're all armed with a single bullet each. We do have spears. I think what you've got to do is you've got to go old school, super old school, 300, Spartans territory, and you want to narrow the point of attack. So you want to expose yourselves the least amount that you can, and you want to try and have, look, there's going to be some sandbags, there's going to be some casualties. That's the nature of it. Can we throw spears from cover? If we can throw spears from cover, we're going to have a good time here. The problem is recovering those spears if you've thrown them. Can we tie a bit of rope to our spears, like a harpoon, and like wheel it back in? If you can, then you get another throw of your spear, don't you? I like that idea. We're doing that. So, from cover, shitloads of spears gets chucked, rope them back in. Keep doing that until they're in manageable enough numbers, and then fuck them up. How's that sound? But you got to use cover because you don't want to be out in the open. Even with a single bullet, you're going to probably take some. The other option that you could probably do is you maybe try and draw fire, which is the ultimate dicking in the world. Draw fire, which basically means run from fucking point A to point B outside of cover and try and get them to shoot. They might be onto you for that though, you know. Alrighty, Ryan, which is my preferred shade of grey? I'm going to go with a cadet grey. Can I see Timbo getting any opportunities next season? From what I'm hearing, no. It sounds like he's pissed off a load of people behind the scenes, which is sad because ability-wise, if you put him in central midfield, he does that Idrissa guy sort of ratting sort of thing really well, and I'd love to see him given the opportunity to do that, to be honest with you. Loki, could the academy and returning loanees make up 5 of the 10 players needed to replace? 5. Maybe 3 or 4. Don't know about 5. Not including the youth. You can only keep 5 players from the current squad. Who would they be, even if 5 make the cut? Lindelof. I'll keep Shaw, because even though I think he's put a load of timber back on, I would keep Shaw. I don't think he was player of the year, but I'm do keeping him. If it's Pogba in the right frame of mind, Pogba. If it's not going to be Pogba in the right frame of mind, like trying to make all about him, then not Pogba. I mean, who was playing the other day? And I said, that's one of the fucking best performances I've seen out of Pogba. Who was it? Might have been... Was it the Chelsea game? Can't remember who it was now. But Pogba had a fantastic first half, and then we went down, and I think he tried to make it about himself a little bit. I can't remember who the fuck it was now, but it was very good. Marcus... Tony Marshall's another one. What fucking mood's he in? Yeah, I don't know. Jesse. Keep Jesse. Keep Romero. We're in problems, aren't we? When that's what you're going through the squad and going, oh, I'll keep like a couple of them. It's not fucking cricket, really. Opinion on Chris Smalling's Barnet. It's a worse decision than going vegan. Greatest TV show and movie of all time. TV show, Band of Brothers, movie, Gladiator. From Sunday's performance, it looked like Greenwood could easily fill our right-wing spot. I mean, I've been saying that. Do you think we could see him in the squad either starting or sub week in, week out next season? Yes, I do. What's wrong with Matt? I don't know. I think he fucking takes all the drugs. Tem says, do I think Ander and Ollie fell out? It seems weird that Ander didn't get any minutes on Sunday. Ollie seems to like all that sentimental stuff, so Ander not playing is surprising. Maybe. I've not heard anything. I think it's also more telling that the front six were all academy players. Is that a nod to what's about to happen? Shokon, everyone was saying Jose only wanted experienced players over 28, but is that really true? Well, yes, that's what I'd heard. He said he would have fought for an out of Sanchez, and he only brought Matic because Woodward wouldn't cough up the money for Dyer. And Sanchez was brought in because he wanted a world-class difference maker like Griezmann. Plus, in the press, anytime they mentioned world-class players, he told them impossible. Were his targets actually old and unrealistic, or did he give the board unachievable targets they failed to provide? Well, yeah, you had Toby Alderweireld, but they didn't want to spend the money on him. They wanted to spend it on Varane, who didn't want to come. You had Danny Rose, who wanted to buy. Look, he wanted to get rid of Luke Shaw, Tony Marshall and Pogba. And on one hand, I go, you have to let the guy build the team in the image he wants to do the things that he wants it to do. On another hand, you go, fuck me, we are not a better football team losing that entire left-hand side like that, are we? But there was definitely players he was after, and definitely players that they did not deliver. If Fletcher's made director of football, will he have any power, or will it be just Woodward's puppet? You'd hope he has some power, wouldn't you? Zach, I saw a couple of weeks back, ESPN linked United to Cavani. Utter bollocks, I'm sure, although I'm sure it's just bollocks. I think he's decent, though. I don't think he's quite Zlatan levels, but he might offer some. I just think it's absolute lies. Do you think Chong has a chance of breaking into the first team? Is he as good as Mason and Angel? I don't think so. I think he's very fast, very direct, which can lead to a lot of positives, especially if Ollie wants a fast and direct team. Obviously, that suits it very well. I don't think he's on the same level as the other two, though. Who do I think is an ideal director of football if we're going to recruit from within, or a club legend? It's got to be someone with contacts. So somebody with contacts might be Brian McClare. Somebody with contacts might be Steve Bruce. Do you know what I mean? It might not necessarily be who was the biggest name. I mean, like, imagine Roy Keane. Trying to negotiate with Roy Keane, it's fuck you and die in a fire, innit, if he don't agree with you. Would I entertain the proposal of Sanchez and cash for a Dybala swap? I wonder if Sanchez is going to come good. I think it's probably best if he goes. Wage structure just hasn't worked out, sort of, aside. I think he, in the right system, he's still a top player. Who do I think are the best talents in youth leagues, under 23s and under 18s outside of United? Oh, shit. Everton have got a young striker that's absolutely shit in goals. He's very, very, very good. Outside of that, there was I mean, João Felix played against us for Benfica, and I was like, for all the hype, I'm not overly impressed, to be honest. Obviously, he's gone on and done it in men's football, which is very impressive. The youth leagues are tough because I don't watch anything except United's under 18s games, really. And I didn't watch any of the youth league once United got knocked out. So it's hard to say, and it's also hard to gauge the level. It's hard enough gauging the level of where the fucking Dutch league's at, let alone where the Dutch under 18s league's at. Will I come and watch an Aussie Rules game when I'm in Perth? If there's a game on, yes, we need to fill up that fucking week that we're there. I think we're there for 6 days, only 2 matches, so there's plenty of time for other shit, absolutely. Who are the kids that impressed you in the 16s and 18s, and who do I think will come up through the ranks? 16s, we're not allowed to watch anymore, so from what I know, obviously Shola Showtire was the one that people was telling me about a while ago. I had a conversation with one of the defenders at the club, and I was like, talk to me, who's the ones coming through that I need to be looking out for? And he was like, Shola, mate, watch. Charlie Savage, Robbie Savage's son, he's a very fucking good footballer. Nothing like his dad in style of play. His dad was obviously a bit of a budget version of Kante, aggressive and cutting about the place, defensive midfielder, a bit annoying. Charlie is a number 10, got a good range of passing, a brilliant touch, eye for a goal, very good player. Excited to see what he does next year, actually, because he's fucking very good. Do you know if we're in for Bruno Fernandes and Tielemans? No, I've seen bits about both of them, but not from anybody I know. And would they be a good fit for United? I think they're both very good footballers, yeah. If we're going to play a 4-4-2 diamond, I could see both of them sitting in there, not a problem. Am I going to the Nations League next month? I want to. I haven't booked it yet. I haven't organised it yet. There's a lot of invoices I'm waiting on being paid. I also want to do D-Day on the 6th of June, and I don't know how I'm doing that yet. Who is Pujmal? Never heard of him before. What position does he play, and what chances do I think of getting into the first team? When he came, he was touted as a Spanish wonder kid midfielder, the new Xavi, this, that, and the other. When we got him, in truth, he was more Beckham-esque. Good at free kicks, good cross on him. Not really a dribbler, tricky in and out, sort of Chong or Zaha style of winger. Very much like a right midfielder that has got an excellent cross on him. This season, you saw him played a lot at right back, possibly for that overlapping cross. Possibly they're looking at him maybe to fill in at right back. Possibly because there was just loads of injuries, to be honest with you. He's been decent without being incredible, I think. Maybe he's not played enough in his right position. He's okay. How important do I think Michael Carrick's role will be next season? With some fresh players, his midfield expertise can hopefully improve our midfield. Don't know what he does yet. Still need to find out exactly what it is that he does. And we'll sort that out soon as. Nebby, what happened with Abdullah? Not seen him on any reviews in the last couple of weeks, and why do we stop using the average touch map and all the rest of it in the review? Does that come back next season? Abdullah is about fucking 12 in the grand scheme of things. He's too young to be on when we've got a sponsored content, because for a betting sponsor you've got to be over 25. So that was it. I mean, Abdul's been in here pretty much every week, whether he's been on camera or not. If you watch the paddock though, he will be on there quite regularly. The average touch map, we stopped using that mostly because Instat stopped delivering the data on time. And sometimes it would come at fucking 9 o'clock the following morning, and you're like, that's fucking handy for me, innit, when I'm doing a show an hour after the game. I would love to have that back next season. Again, we are looking into what's possible for data, because I like that aspect of the show. I want to be able to have that visual element and make it look good. If I haven't got that, like, you know, I've got to sort it. Ant says, just attended the worst marketing seminar at work. The host stammered the whole way through. I wonder how you would answer some of the questions, though. So here goes. If you could close one fast food chain, which would it be? I would say... Burger King. Because outside of the XL bacon double cheese, they're a bit shit. You're not going to lose Mackey's because you lose the breakfast, and no one wants to lose the Mackey's breakfast. It's top. Can't lose Pizza Hut. Domino's is well overpriced, and it's not the greatest pizza in the world, but do you know what? It's not as egregious as the Burger King ones. Especially if you're hitting up a Burger King in a service station. They're about fucking 19 quid for a burger. You're not going to close Subway. It's got Burger King, hasn't it? If I could remove one word from the English language, what would it be? I like words. Vegan. If there was one unarmed policeman standing between you and a 30 years in jail, do I fight or surrender? That copper's getting fucked up, son! If I had to leave Manchester forever, where would I go? Barcelona. You have the whole world's attention for 30 seconds. What do I say? I'd say, God isn't real, stop being cunts to each other, and we'll all get along. Ross Jones 18 says, is our summer transfer plans already ruined? By the looks of things, we'll only be replacing players instead of building with the amount of players that look like they're heading out of the door. There might be an element of that, yeah. I just don't have the confidence in the board to be able to do what's necessary. Fiscal Cliff, why are United fans so dumb? On a more serious note, if we can only sign one of Neves, Ndombele, Ndidi or Tielemans, who do I go for and why? I go with Ndombele because he replaces a bit more of the box-to-box we was going to get from Herrera, and we make do with the Matic, Garner sort of hybrid that we've got. If we keep Pogba, you've got a good midfield free there. Brian, any truth to the leak that suggests United aren't happy with the time Lingard has been given to his brands? I asked one guy and he said, yeah, that's true. And I asked several other people and they was like, fuck are you talking about? I think that was the geezer on... Was it the geezer on Reddit? There was some stuff in there that was like, Ryan, thoughts on Evra's comments on Pogba? Personally, I think Evra's a little biased towards Pogba. It's clear they're mates. He needs to understand Pogba's getting hate on his attitude about wanting to move away, but does this signal the end for Pogba at United? I've already answered Darren Fletcher as director of football. I think what he said is very clear. Like when he says, I think he'll leave, that's a big fucking indicator. What's the plan for content? Well, there's no domestic football. Obviously, I have the tour, but am I going to follow the Nations League, for example? We're talking to people at the moment. Squawker and Betball would like me to do a Champions League watch-along, which we'll see. I don't know if I'm going to do that yet or not. I've actually planned all the way up to the 11th of August in terms of what's going to go out. You're looking at a warm-down on Mondays, guests providing, reactionary stuff. Fucking dog going mad. Reactionary stuff as and when it needs to be reactionary stuff. There's, in my opinion, every Tuesday, Wednesday is going to be like a top 5 or a story of. Hopefully there'll be Thursday clubs. We're not having one this week, but hopefully there'll be Thursday clubs and X, Y, Z. TBC on the Nations League. Do I think to an extent what the Scousers think and complain about affects the way football is viewed? For example, his whole agenda and hatred for defensive football only came about after Mourinho killed the game at Anfield where Gerrard slipped. It came about a little bit before then. Oh. Did it come about then? Yeah, I think the way they talk about it is also City, like... Pep's first season, City were fucking boring. They passed it around their centre-half and their goalkeeper, which is hilarious because that's now what Liverpool do. And then Liverpool launch it forward, long ball style, like fucking Wimbledon did in the 80s. There's obviously a bit more to it than that, but very simplistic overview, that's what they fucking do. In the first season under Pep, that's what City did. And it wasn't fucking interesting. Now, City then started holding possession last season, right around De Bruyne, really, and that was good football. And it's been... almost the same this season. A lot of involvement with the forward three. What Liverpool do, it's mad how simple it is, or at least how simple it looks, but it is fucking effective. But it's not infallible. I think they're going to struggle next year. But it does remain to be seen if they start strengthening and throwing loads of money around like dickheads, because I think there's a good chance that they're going to do that as well, to be honest. Where do I think Bale will end up? I think it could be here. Looks like his time at Madrid is rapidly coming to an end. Do I want him at United? I would rather solve the right-wing issue with a younger alternative before looking at someone like him. Well, what you've got to remember is he's injury-prone as a motherfucker. So if you got him in, he's probably not doing 30 games for you, which gives the opportunity then to Mason to just draft in behind him. And what a good player to learn off as well, by the way. Christian, how likely is it United allow Angel to leave? We surely risk another Pogba situation. I think he's only got a year left on his contract, so there's not a lot they can do, to be honest. They're going to have to promise him football. This might also be a tactic to get football. Be like, hey, look, we'll just fuck off. How's that sound? Okay, sign new contracts with an improved status that you're definitely part of the first team. Sound. What do I think Ollie's style of football is, and do I think there's anything in these Koulibaly rumours? I think his style of football is flexible, but I think it is press, counter-attacking, play football on the floor. I think that's been really evident from what we saw in those first 10 weeks or so under him. I'd definitely go with Koulibaly over Alderweireld, but it makes no sense to me why Alderweireld's not already a United player. 25 million is a fucking free transfer. Clayton says, tried Googling Tony O'Neill, couldn't find much. Fucking really? I would say go back to Google and fix your Google. What's required for United to financially compete with City and Liverpool? Our plan. What do I think of the interview between Evra and Neville on Sky Sports? It was good. Tuanzebe and Bay on their day with a formidable centre-half partnership. Yeah, I would like that. I don't know if him and Ollie have fallen out. Bay is a weird one. I think he could go, but I think he could also stay. Someone texted me when he got injured and said, that's him saved his United career. Do I think it'd be worth us trying to set up a fans group with some proper goals, open and transparent? If Must only represents one lot of interest, what about a new perspective with proper meetings and a chance of trying to get change, not profit? I'm fucking out, mate. I am not going to be one that puts my fucking hand in the air to try and do that, but I would support one if somebody else did. Any chance of answering my DMs? Oh, shit, do you know what? I've got fucking hundreds of them. Yeah, I'll get back to them at some point today. Griezmann is available, not anymore, Ian. Will Ed wait until deadline day and then buy someone from the non-league? What's the most boring and what's the most repetitive questions you've been asked on one of these? Not today, but there's usually some that there's like 45 of them. I think that's why Mitz has been clearing them up. Who are the most reputable journalists when it comes to transfers besides Don Ballon? Simon Stone does get quite a lot of good stuff, as does... Fuck. Leave it with me, I'll let you know. There's another one that does get all the juice direct from United. Ian Laderman's not a bad one usually as well. Tuanzebe impressing again last night. How do you think him and Koulibaly? Yep, will be good. Who wins between Tom Selleck and David Hasselhoff? Tom Selleck's old as fuck, you know, so probably David Hasselhoff. From what I know, why hasn't the likes of Timbo and Callum Gribben progressed as much as others in their positions? For example, like Tuanzebe and Gomez. Timbo's had a bit of unfortunate loan. Like, when he went to Crystal Palace, he started great, was phenomenal. And then Wan-Bissaka emerged, and guess what? Wan-Bissaka's fucking quality. It wasn't that anything really that Timbo did wrong. They're like, well, why are we going to develop someone else's fullback? We've fucking got this one here, and he's mint. Let's just play him. Then he went to Fulham. That didn't work out too right. He did piss some people off at Crystal Palace. Maybe mentally he's not all there. Ability-wise he was. Mentally not there. Callum Gribben, I'll wait till he's been released, and then I'll tell you everything that's been happening with him. But there probably going to be some big fucking allegedlys when I do talk about that one. It's not good. Right, that'll do. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for your continued support. There's a vlog coming at some point this week, hopefully. And I'll see you in the next one. Laters.